Good day everyone, today we're gonna continue with our YouTube clone and I will probably switch the setup up a bit, so I will just copy the code and explain it so I don't spend too much of your time, and the videos will probably be smaller as well. Okay, so in last episode we basically created the whole style for the user menu, but we didn't really implement the display content and also the code for it. As you guys can see, we have just user menu left here, and if we go over to our browser, you guys can see that we have effect style all the different dropdowns except the user menu here. You guys probably won't see it, but it's just a white circle here, and we're gonna fix that today. What we want to do right now is obviously not be in the main page, and this is also the master repository with all the content, but we want to go into header, and we have, as you guys can see, we currently have in Visual Studio Code, we have two files here, but we need a JavaScript file as well. So we're gonna fix that. So I'm gonna go in here. It's a lot of icons here, and this file is obviously gonna be named user menu items.js here, and instead of this you actually just want to import all of these icons here. So just copy in these, you guys can write down for yourself, and this will display the different icons for the different subsections in the user menu drop down. So after you have, you can pause the video and type this code in your Visual Code. And as you guys can see, we have 3 different items, or actually we have 5 different items, and this is gonna display the different sections here. So I'll just copy in these here. So item 1 is obviously gonna have 3 elements, and they are gonna be the Google account button, the Switch account button, and also the sign out button. The IDs here are for the mapping, so they don't get confused with the different the other items, and they have to be unique. And also we have individual icons for the different sections as well, which will describe the title or the text more. And we will do that for all the different other items here as well. And this is exactly the same setup for every item. So I'll just copy in these, and you guys can write it, copy it, or write it as you guys want to. And it is 4 items, so I'll just copy in these here. Item 5 as well. And we also want to export these items as well. So we want to export items 1, items 2, items 3, items 4, and items 5. Okay? So now we have created that. Obviously this might be too fast for you guys, so please pause and write everything down in the code editor. So now we have actually wrote the JavaScript file. Now we want to import it. So we're gonna import, and we have to destruct this. And this will be items 1, items 2, items 3, items 4, and items 5. This is going to be from /user menu items. So if you save that, no errors have been shown. We're currently just compiling, and I think everything should be fine. This error here, if you get this error, you should not really be worried about it. It's fine. Yeah, so that's nice. So if we go inside our header menu, and as you guys can see, you can see all the code here. we want to do show user menu, and as you guys can see, it's a bit of code here, but I'm gonna explain every part of it, so we can collapse that as well. So go down here, and the first thing we want to import is, or we actually want to write a div with a class name of top bar. This is gonna be the top bar of the inside of the the top bar is gonna be inside of the drop-down user menu, and it will be essentially our header for that menu. We also want to have a channel icon here, which is gonna be your channel, just like that. And this is gonna have a class name of channel icon. Then we want to create another div inside of the top bar div, which is gonna have a class name of user menu or user dash menu dash top dash container. And inside of here we want to have the user name, and this could be your username, it could be anyone's, it's up to you. You also want the user tag, which is a tag that defines your independent user in the YouTube database. And you also want to have a link to a different you also want to have a link to a different page on the channel. Now, I will also just finish this up a bit. So we're gonna have a close tag here, and we also want to have a close tag here. So we have two close tags, and that should be fine. Now, if we save this, we will probably get an error because link is not defined. So what we want to do now is essentially we can close this and just import a library. So you want to type npm I or install react -router-dom, and for this type of project I actually go with the version 5. So we're gonna import React Router DOM version 5. There's a more recent version where they have restructured the code, but I'm not currently comfortable with that type of restructuring, so I'm just gonna do version 5. So we're gonna hit enter here and let it install. Just like that. Now we can clear this and restart the client. So we just type npm start. If we go over here, you guys can see that the link is not defined, and that's because we haven't imported from the library we just imported. So we're gonna do that. So let's go back here. We get an error, that's totally fine. And we go into our header.jsx file, and we want to import link. So we can just import, and we have to destructure this and link just like that. This is going to be from React Router DOM, just like that. And if we go over to our terminal, we probably won't get an error if it wants to reload. Anyways, we have done that, so now we shouldn't have an error. So what we want to do now is import the line, which will divide the different subsections in the user menu dropdown, and this is going to be outside the two close tag that we just wrote. And if we go to our node, we have no errors, that's good. And if we go over to our browser, you guys will see that we get errors because we have it. Oh yeah, I know why. So if we reload that and don't click on the channel image, we have to do some more adjustments to the app.js file. So we can actually go and check how that's done as well. So go into app.js here, and you guys can see that we have to import some stuff here and also restructure the structure as well. But we will do that now. So we're here, and as you guys can see, it's a bit different here. That's totally fine. So we're gonna import our some components from React Router DOM, And we want to import browser router, the switch, and the route as well. So inside here we want to have a browser router, and this is gonna, and the content is gonna be inside of this browser router. We also want to import. Actually, you might want to do this instead. So we're gonna restructure this a bit. This one is also gonna be outside of this div, so that's fine. Just like that. And this div with app is actually gonna be, with the class name of app, is gonna be inside of the browser router. So that should be fine. And we also want to create a switch inside of here. So let's do that. Switch. And we also want to have a route with a path, which is going to be equal to a slash because it's the home route. And inside of this home route, we want to have all the current content because it's our home page. Oops, my bad. So it's going to be inside here. Just like that. And that should fix the error, I think. So if we go over to our browser, you guys can see that when I click here, we get actually our content that we had wrote earlier. And then you have a link here to view your channel. And everything here is actually styled because we styled it in the last episode. So that's working exactly how we want to. That's great. Let's go back to our programming. Now that's done, we want to head over to our header and essentially add the remaining content. So I'm gonna copy this, and you probably want to write this, but what we are actually doing is just looping over all the different items in items 1, or elements in items 1, which we wrote before. I can actually move this, which is this section here. So we're looping over all the items here. And we just say that we create a div for every item with the class name with user-menu item, which takes in the key, which will define it individually, so it doesn't think that all items is the same. And we also have the item icon, which is this icon here. And we also have the item.text, which is this variable right here. So that should be working. If we go over to our browser right now, you guys can see that we have a lot more items here. And as you guys can see, it's already styled and it looks pretty good because we wrote it before. So that's really good. Let's go back. And now I want to add another line beneath this looped div, you can call it, I guess. And now I want to loop over basically the rest of the items. And so we will do that and go over to our browser, and as you guys can see, we'll have the rest of the items here as well. And when we hover it, we have a dark hover effect as well. So that's really good. Let's go and do that for rest of the items as well. So we want to add a line beneath this loop here as well. Just like that. And we also want to add our items from the items 3. So we just added items from this constant here, the items from items 2. And now we added the items from items 3. And we loop over all of these items, which has different IDs. So that's really good. If we go over to our browser again, you guys can see that we will actually have our drop down here with the different items, and as you guys can see, we can also scroll over this. So you can scroll over this one, and you can scroll over this drop down as well. So everything's working, and here you have upload video, go live, and post, whatever. So it's really working. Okay, let's go back here and add the rest. So yeah, I'm just gonna add this line here, just like that. Nice. And we also want to add all the items from the constant items 4, just like that. And we also want to add the line here beneath this div, which we loop over. And then we want to add the rest of the items 5 as well. And that's basically it. So now we have done the now we have done all the rest of the items inside of our user menu, you can say. And it looks really decent actually. We have our scroll here with our shorts, we have our videos here, we have our subscriptions that we have to the channels we have subscribed to. We have the different buttons here, which will be music, gaming, news, sports, settings, whatever. We also have liked videos, watch later, your videos, your history, your profile, and home and shorts. And we have all the different categories here. So yeah, everything is currently working, and this looks actually pretty good. And yeah, and obviously you can add more links, more different web pages with the React Router DOM, which we will probably do in the future. But this is actually how you can program your own content distributor on the internet, essentially. And obviously you don't want to have the same style as YouTube have, but you will get like the perspective from this video. We might also want to add a pointer to these videos and these shorts, but that's fine. Yeah, I think that's it for today, guys. So thank you for watching, I hope you enjoyed it, and if you learned something, that's great, that's all I want. And if you want to learn more about programming and CSS tutorials and React tutorials, and also even more different types of programming, which I will do in the future, then stay tuned to the channel. And thank you guys for watching. I hope you have a nice evening and a nice day, and thank you guys.